Comes Joe. Oh no. I think he's lost.
His granddaughter, is it?
I think he's lost. He doesn't know where he's at. He's lost again. Does not give you nostalgia. Welcome back.
Why does his wife always walk away from him? She seems to want to be with Obama. Look at her. She's right next to him.
Rise and freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. It's Freedom Family Friday. Isn't this just the best day of the week?
It is. It's also the day that I enter into the second trimester of my pregnancy.
Oh, congratulations, Steffi. Hey.
Depending on, what your science says. I'm basically in week 13 now. So.
Yeah. And so that means that we're past any kind of fears that you might have about losing the baby and stuff. We get to just kind of relax a little bit. Right. And this has been kind of the easiest first trimester.
Relaxium my groin, right?
Relaxium my groin. Yes. Your groin is relaxed. It's good to know. All right. All right. If you're joining us for the first time ever, welcome. Here's how Fridays work on this show. I bring my family in. We cover the news. We have some fun. Nobody has to pretend the world isn't completely insane, but we just talk about it like normal people. And speaking of normal people, that is my beautiful wife, Stephanie, who's here with me this morning. Steph.
Hello. Hello.
She's probably already regretting agreeing to do this. She keeps me honest. She keeps me grounded. She's the only person on this planet who can tell me I'm wrong, and I will actually think about it. So welcome her in the chat. She deserves it. Give it up for Steffi.
Thank you.
Here's what we got for you.
You would have no idea how much our house is in shambles right now.
Oh, my God.
We had a flood in our kitchen due to a faucet outside that was leaking into our house.
Yeah, there's fans, industrial fans set up all over the entire house. That's when you're thankful that you have like the good microphones for your podcast so that you aren't hearing all the massive fans that are blowing around there. But here's what we got for you today, today topic-wise. A Florida IVF mix-up that is going to make you think hard about what actually makes someone a parent to a child.
Ooh, I love this topic.
I know. Okay, calm down. Father who got the police called on him for washing his daughter's hands. Yes, that is true. The Supreme Court dropped a 9-0 ruling on guns and marijuana. So many of my stoner libertarian gun friends yesterday were like, I can keep my guns. And wait until you hear who's on the wrong side of this one. Also, baseball players wrote a Bible verse on their caps and got warned by the league. I talked about this story yesterday, but I want to hear Steffi's take on it and Justin's take on it. And World Cup fans from across the globe came to America. They came to Kansas City. They discovered Waffle House and free refills, and now many of them are never going home. So,
oh no!
I know, right? No,
are they Somalian?
No, the Somalians weren't going to be able to afford to get here. So pay attention because if you've got the red badge next to your name in the Rumble chat, then you are one of the lucky ones, the gifted ones. My brother, Justin Peterson, is going to be here today. We haven't seen him in a while. He's coming in for the second hour, and the second hour of Friday shows are members only, red badge only. So if you're watching us on any other platform, or if you're sitting there with no red badge next to your name wondering what is missing, that is kind of the point, right? So hit the gift subs this morning. Bring somebody into the family and get them in here before Justin shows up, because trust me, you do not want to miss that conversation. Looks like we're already well on the way to unlocking our bonus content anyway, because Kermode Bear went over to the shop and got our goat t-shirt that she made. What?
I made it just for him yesterday.
Did you really?
I did.
We love our fans.
I was sitting there while all those fans were blasting and the restoration people were in our house. And I was like, I'm going to make a goat t-shirt.
Yeah.
What a great time to do that.
Let's take a look at the latest product drops real quick before we get started, just so people can see what they want to get for unlocking the bonus content. Okay. So you made a bunch of new stuff yesterday. Landed the free, home of the Ram you.
Aw, yeah, that is funny. Yeah. I didn't even think about that reference.
To thine own self be true. Land of the free, home of the ba. That's really cute. So we got this 1776 goat, and Kermode just got his on his way. I love the colors on this one, Steffi.
Yeah,
Very
I
nice.
actually I turned it white. It was going to be black, but I'm like, you can have so many more colors of shirts.
That's
this
very
way.
cute. Land of the free, home of the ba. So you could get that shirt over at forlibertyshop.com. And looks like we expanded. Basically, the last 10 days have been the greatest 10 days in the history of forlibertyshop.com. And it's because of this beautiful shirt that you see me wearing right now. Here,
that I made. Thank you.
Yeah, you did a great job. I'll just go ahead and pop it over to the clean scene so they can see what I'm talking about here. This America 76 250 years tee. We have sold over 200. We've sold over 250 of these things, actually.
Oh, wow. 250.
And they're still going crazy. People buying them like crazy. So Steffi decided to expand the merch collection a little bit. So if you like this design and you'd like to see it maybe on a mouse pad, we sold a couple of mouse pads yesterday. The America 76 250 years mouse pad as well. The full 250 years collection has just been a big winner for us this year. Thank God. 250 years collection is available at forlibertyshop.com. So during the live show, guys, while we're having fun, while we're drinking coffee and goofing around and having a good time, then do some shopping over at forlibertyshop.com. And when you do, you guys will get to see all of the fun and cool freedom stuff that we have, and you'll unlock our bonus content. And you'll get to see our mini documentary, which are hugely popular. So
I love how Byron Norris is one of our models on our website.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. You know what they call that in the industry? UGC.
What is that?
User generated content.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of like a big deal in the e-commerce industry right now. I've been reading about. So, all right, well, let's get to the show. So, in December, a Florida woman named Tiffany Score gave birth to a daughter, and within weeks, she and her husband Stephen Mills noticed that the baby did not resemble either one of them.
Within weeks? I mean, wouldn't you notice this when the baby came out?
Well, black babies aren't born black, actually. Did you know that?
I mean, you can still kind of tell their features, their
Kind
lips, and they look a little bit more purple.
Did you say their lips?
Yeah. Like their features usually look a little bit,
Yeah.
different.
So,
hard to believe. I think these people are lying about
So
how long it took them to realize this.
Colton wrote the script. Maybe a DNA test confirmed it. The child was not genetically theirs. A fertility clinic outside of Orlando had transferred the wrong embryo, Stephanie.
Oh my gosh.
Now, Score and Mills were both white, and they had given birth to a baby who tested 100% South Asian.
Asian.
South Asian.
South Asian. So that's not black, is it?
Well, I mean, spiritually, it is.
So Africa is really South Asia?
No.
Okay. Interesting.
Africa is different.
I have no idea. Wow, this is like an Asian black baby.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Before we get in trouble, guys, let's continue on. So they could have treated it as a stranger. Instead, this couple actually went to court to keep the daughter that they had already bonded with. So they tracked down her genetic parents, and both families agreed. A little girl named Shay stays with the only family she's ever known. So Tiffany Score, she underwent embryo transfer at the Fertility Center of Orlando in Longwood, Florida, and she gave birth to her daughter in December of last year. Now, the couple, who are both white, pursued genetic testing. They found out that it was non-Caucasian, 100% South Asian. They then sued the clinic and its lead reproductive endocrinologist. In January of 2026, they stated in the suit that they had formed an emotional bond with the child starting in pregnancy. So Shay's genetic mother was identified in court records only as patient 4. The lone match from a March 2020 egg retrieval group who chose to remain anonymous until DNA testing confirmed the link. So last year, a court filing confirmed a confidential custody agreement. Score and Mills remain Shay's permanent legal parents. And then the Fertility Center of Orlando is closing, and they're still dealing with a malpractice case. So, Stephanie, I'll take it as a pregnant mom. Take it away.
Wow, this is a really tough one. I mean, shouldn't they have dropped that malpractice case if they're keeping the kid? It's like it's kind of null and void, but they still messed up.
No. I think they still, because of the trauma that you go through.
Right. Right.
with
But
this
if your
because-
child knew that you sued somebody because you gave birth to them, you know, like that's
No.
kind of traumatizing in itself.
I don't think so. I wouldn't
Yeah.
think so at all because I would think you have a right to do that because they committed
do.
malpractice. I mean, you carried that child for 9 months on a false premise
Yes.
that you were going to have your own biological child. Now,
Right.
I mean, just talk about what that would do to you emotionally, Stephanie, if you'd found that
So
out.
I'm thinking about, you know, when a mother is a surrogate, she carries the baby up to term and then gives the baby to the parents. And this happens all the time. I'm just trying to think like what's best for the child too. Because it's like this child will always know that they weren't exactly adopted, like they were still birthed from this person. But in terms of their roots, they're always going to wonder, like, who am I? Especially being Black in a white family. Like, that's even harder to figure out your identity.
Mhm.
So, this child, I don't think they're going to get out of this without some sort of issue.
Mhm.
And in terms of bonding during pregnancy, yeah, that happens, you know, because it's like you're putting together the room, the nursery, you're looking at the ultrasound pictures. You would think on the ultrasound pictures, they might have seen some interesting features on the 4D ultrasound, right?
Yeah, 4D ultrasound, would it show you those features? Would you
Well, the big
would it get
lips,
that
but
level?
Hazel also had big lips.
We're talking about South Asians,
I
Stephanie,
know, but
not
you
blacks.
can usually tell when a face is a little different,
lips.
but still, you know, Hazel did look kind of black in the womb. You know, she has like a larger nose and lips, right? So, you do form a bond and you come up with your future life, right? You just asked me last night, like, what do I envision for our future child? What do I want for our future child? And then when that child gets there, you've done all that work, right? All that pain and pushing and whatnot. And then the kid is not even yours. Oof. I would have a hard time giving the baby up too, I think. I would feel really bad in my heart.
Well, who would you give it to?
Well, the parent, the actual biological parent.
Yeah.
I'm sure they probably want babies too if they did IVF originally, you know, if they saved their eggs. Okay, so it's a great ethical question. What are you going to do? Are you going to throw the eggs away? Is that more ethical? Are you going to give it to another parent by accident to have a baby? I mean, that seems more ethical in terms of pro-life, right?
Yeah.
I don't know where these biological parents stand in terms of having another child.
There's a lot of people who are opposed to the practice of IVF. They don't
Right.
they don't believe, a lot of the pro-lifers
Oh,
who
most-
don't believe it should be done.
I don't even know what percent. We need to look up the percentage, but a lot of people do IVF nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is, I think, more common than not that people do IVF or, you know, certain kinds of fertility drugs.
I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, yeah. I remember very, very clearly when I went to my gynecologist, I was 30 years old and I had just broken up with my long-term relationship. And she said to me, I think you might need to freeze your eggs.
Oh, yeah, I remember that story. Oh, you were so offended.
I contacted you and,
Yeah.
and I was so upset. This was when you and I were like starting to get close. And I was like sobbing because she wanted me to pay $15,000 to store my eggs because I was apparently old at 30.
And it finds out everything just working just fine between you and me.
I know I've had one natural child naturally and another one on the way. I mean, we are blessed. We are blessed, you know.
We are blessed. We're healthy. Well, that's because you're super healthy. Approximately 2.8% of babies born in the U.S. in 2024 were conceived using IVF. 1 in 36 babies.
Oh,
so
1 in 36.
It
Well,
is. So,
it seems much more prevalent
It's
than
grown.
the statistics say.
Well, you probably are. That's probably like a confirmation bias. You might be
Yeah.
reading a lot about those
and
stories.
I think too, the women who get IVF speak out the most online.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you don't really hear women talking about their pregnancy when they're just having a normal natural pregnancy. Usually it's the women who are, you know, doing the fertility shots and all that stuff that, you know, they're just really having a hard time, which totally understandable. It's a very painful and taxing process.
It says the couple chose to raise a daughter who shares none of their DNA. So does that change the definition of what actually makes someone a parent? I mean, I wanted my biological children. I know you were fine with like adoption, But and I'm not opposed to adoption. I think adoption is a good thing, but I wanted to have my own biological children. Does that make me racist?
Yeah, I understand the significance of having a biological child now that we have one, because I know
she looks like us.
My fear when we were in the hospital, because there was another Peterson when we were in the hospital, and my fear was that she got switched by accident when they took her out to, like, you know, give her some testing. I was worried they switched her with another baby. And so it's like, if I'm worried about something like that, then that means I must really value biological children. If I'm scared they were going to give me another child.
So then there's something deeply visceral. There's something in our DNA that makes us want to spread our own DNA. I mean, that seems totally normal based on everything that we understand about evolution. Whenever
we're talking, we're like, oh, who does she look like? Who's she acting like? You know, we're always comparing her to us and our family. And it's like, you know, obviously when a child is adopted, you can't do those kinds of comparisons as easily, which, you know, that's okay. But it's just, it makes it harder to have that bond.
Wow. I mean, reporting says the U.S. fertility industry has less oversight than most developed countries. I guess the question is there a gap here? Is there like a regulatory gap on this?
I mean, how do you mess up these eggs here? It's like where they just put in the wrong box, you know? Like what do you?
The wrong freezer. It's like they're in a cryogenic.
I'm sorry. They're
in like a cryogenic storage.
So that woman, so a sperm and an egg were already mixed, and then they were put inside this woman. So it's not like they mixed a sperm with this woman's.
So here's an interesting question, and maybe, and I'm just gonna,
I don't know.
I'm just going to display my ignorance on this one entirely. But if you can freeze eggs, cryogenically freeze them and store them, why couldn't you cryogenically freeze an adult human? So what's so I know we've been trying to do this. Remember all the rumors that Walt Disney's head was frozen in the 1950s? You didn't know this?
I just know Austin Powers.
Okay, well, you know that movie that I like to watch every once in a while, Aliens, where so in that movie they have this concept of cryogenic freezing. So if you want to like send people in space long distances, that it would, if you need to go to the next galaxy and it would take you, 15 years or 25 years for you to get there, you obviously you don't want to age that long. So if they show you kind of freezing the human and then waking you up when you get to your destination. This is like a big science fiction thing.
Yeah.
But if you can freeze a human egg, why couldn't you sort of extrapolate that to the human writ large? I guess I'll look it up.
Well, I mean, an egg is in such a simple state of development. So it's like, can you freeze a fully formed individual that has a beating heart? And, I don't know how that would do on somebody's system. But my question now is, okay, so was it the other parents, was it their egg and sperm that both were implanted into this person? Or did this woman use her eggs in another man's sperm? Because like IVF can go in all different ways.
Yeah.
So it depends. Like if the woman had good eggs, maybe she did use her egg and it's just another person's sperm.
Okay.
I don't know.
This is so funny. So I had I was in the wrong chat bubble for my AI this morning. And I have like a chat bubble open for like analytics and stuff. And so I dropped the question, why can we freeze eggs but not full-grown humans, into my analytics thing? And it goes, that's a big pivot from ad analytics. Well, thank you, Claude.
Oh, gosh.
But it did give me the answer. It says, and it looks like RVolt24 already knew it. He says the short answer is size and complexity. Eggs are a single cell, about 0.1 millimeter in diameter. You can cool one cell uniformly and quickly enough that ice crystals don't have time to form and damage it. Cryoprotectants, which are basically antifreeze chemicals, can penetrate a single cell effectively and protect it during the freezing process. A human body is 37 trillion cells arranged in incredibly complex tissues. So the problems are ice crystal damage, water expands when it freezes. In a single cell, you can control this. In a body, ice crystals would rupture cell membranes throughout every organ simultaneously. before the cryoprotectant could penetrate deep enough to prevent it. And then the chemicals that prevent ice crystal formation are toxic at high concentrations. In a single cell, you can flush them out quickly. In a full body, you'd need to saturate 37 trillion cells, and it would poison you before it protected you. And then rewarming, even if you froze someone perfectly, warming them back up uniformly without some areas thawing faster than others and causing damage is an unsolved engineering problem at scale. Whoever can solve this problem is going to be rich. Cryonics companies like Alcor do actually freeze whole humans at death, but they're honest that revival is science fiction currently. So they're betting on future technology solving the rewarming problem. That means that there are people who were fully alive, at least they probably had some kind of a terminal illness, like cancer, some kind of cancer or whatever, and they went into Alcor's. That means that there are human bodies in freezers that were frozen cryonically and that they're waiting if in the future for somebody to come wake them up, for the technology to exist, which is creepy as hell. I'm sure there's probably movies that have dealt with this, but imagine being the person who submits to that and just.
So that's like an assisted suicide kind of in a way.
Essentially, yeah.
So like that person, I wonder if they technically are considered dead.
Yeah.
Or considered,
I mean, you kind of have to be
alive.
You'd have to be to some extent.
Oh,
this is creepy.
That is creepy. Yeah. So I found out. So really, what happened to that fertility couple is a complete embryo was placed inside that woman. So it was a sperm and egg from different people.
I mean, don't they have some parental rights?
You would think so.
You would think
if
they would.
It's your biological child, but it certainly sounds like those people just didn't.
Well, it says here that
care to have that.
Well,
child.
It says that they walked away. They didn't want to fight over it. I mean,
they probably understood like the whole bond issue, but I feel like as a parent biologically, I would always long for my biological child and want to explain myself to them. Like, I wonder if they have any rights at all, if they can write letters to the child.
Would you fight for your baby?
Would I fight?
If we'd done this and we were the couple whose embryo was planted in another woman, and then they had the child, would you fight for your baby?
Probably.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I would too.
Because I know how tough adoption is on kids. As much as it's such a beautiful gift, I know that a lot of kids struggle, again, with identity issues and just like feeling as if they weren't loved or weren't wanted. And so by fighting for that child, you know, they'll always know that they were mine and I always wanted them. Yeah. You know, even if there was a mix up.
Yeah. And even if you lose that fight, you know, the child at least knew that they were wanted.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they were wanted by both families, which would mean even more, you know, and honestly, like I might even be okay with, you know, the other family still like having a relationship with me. You know, and if they really feel compelled, I can like send update photos and stuff.
Damn,
but
this
like
is
that would be
cringe.
weird, and that would probably confuse the child because they'd be like, "Who are these people, and why are they so fascinated with me?"
Such a cringy situation. It's like, ugh.
It is,
Gross.
but again, I go back to like what's best for the child and their development, and it's like I'm sure if this black child was raised in a black family where you know they felt like they looked like everyone and acted like everyone, like they would definitely adjust better, I think.
Okay, so now we're asking the real questions. So Alcor, there's D Links over there in the chat, says, what happens if the cryogenic company that froze the people goes bankrupt? Would the bodies just be tossed? Now, that's an interesting question about like cryogenically freezing the adults. But here's the question that's more pertinent to this discussion. What happens if, like, so in this situation, that fertility company went out of business. So what happens to all the embryos that they're storing?
Oh, wait, which fertility company went out of business?
The Orlando one that botched this job.
Oh.
So does that mean that all of the cryogenic tanks that like the parents have, so what do they have to do? Contact all the parents? You talk for just like a minute. I'm just going to search this and find out what happens.
I'm just saying ethically what would probably happen. I would think that they would have to give over all of the specimens to another company and have them be safely transported and adjusted to this next company. That would be a big ethical issue. So I really don't know, but it would be like if a cemetery goes bankrupt, you know, like would they just throw all the dead bodies away? I don't think so. there's like some protection over bodies and human matter, I would say. I'm no expert here.
Well, I just sent it over to Grok to see what happens.
Okay.
Joni Rankin says, when my husband was a pathology resident, when this couple did in vitro with 5 successful embryos, they aborted 3 out of the 5. Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's, I think we've talked about this before on the show, like a year ago or so. This was a big issue where, do you throw away the embryos that are not used? Do you just keep them there forever and they just sit there in the abyss?
Oh, man, I don't know.
Because it really is killing a life. If you truly believe that life begins at conception, well, the sperm and the egg have been mixed.
Okay, so here,
Right.
I found out what happened. It says the company referring to the fertility center. This is a good damn show. Has everybody clicked the like button?
I suggested this topic
Yeah.
to you 2 days ago because I was so excited.
This is a great topic.
Thank you. Thank you.
good discussion, a great community. I'm serious. Like, just look at all the awesome comments. Everybody just really thoughtful, good, interesting
what
stuff.
are they saying? I'm interested.
You need to go read the comments because
I'm
they're really
interested.
good. Yeah, Brad had a really good comment too. So here's the story from the Fertility Center of Orlando. So this is the high profile mix-up scandal. The clinic announced its closure and shut down its operations in May of 2026. So not long ago. So what happened to frozen embryos? So patients with stored embryos received notifications via email. Come pick up your frozen embryo. And the clinic encouraged them to transition care to CNY Fertility.
So they made a new alliance with another company.
Yeah.
And I would hope you don't have to pay another $15,000 to store your...
Oh, you probably do. Oh, yeah, for sure. Imagine all the other lawsuits. Patients could think about this. What if the child hadn't been South Asian and so obviously not theirs? Imagine if you had gone for years. Imagine if they had like just gotten another white baby like themselves, and then it's like it looks like Hazel. It's got red hair, and you're like, what? And you would have had no idea. But like you would have always wondered. Like I'm sure that at a certain age you probably would have been like, is this my child? Like there would have been some.
This
is
happens,
a good question.
This happens often not with IVF, but because of like Ancestry.com and all of those where, you take the swab and you find out your DNA. People are now finding out that their parents are not really their parents. Their father is not really their father. I actually used to work with somebody, and he found out when he was like in his 30s that his dad was not his dad, and his mother and father lied to him his whole life.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so people are finding all this out now that they have the DNA testing available on the internet. So you can't hide something for very long anymore.
This is juicy, man. This is a juicy topic. Wow.
It's really hard, when you go through life and then you find out that your parents are not your parents.
I know, for sure. Thank you to Joel Ledamore. He just gifted Arvold a sub, so Arvold gets to hang around. Guys, we're well on the way to unlocking the bonus content. Right now would be a really good time for everybody to follow in Steelbringer's footsteps and start gifting subs, because Justin Peterson will be here with us in the second hour. And it's going to be members only content. So if you're watching us on any other social platform other than Rumble, the stream is going to get killed for you, and I don't want to lose you. So if you come over to Rumble right now, people are gifting subs like crazy, so you don't have to worry. You're not going to have to buy your own sub. Somebody will gift it for you, but you do have to be on Rumble to watch the show, and you do have to have the red castle next to your name for the second hour. So about 25 minutes from now, this all goes away. So if you're enjoying this conversation and you want to hear the future conversations we're going to have, which we're going to talk about marijuana and guns at the Supreme Court, a father who went into a bathroom and was in trouble for taking his daughters into the girls' room. And you want to hang out with us, then you need to be over on Rumble. So rumble.com/AP4Liberty. That's AP, the number 4. Rumble.com/AP4Liberty if you want to come join all the cool kids on the stream. And you can see, if you're watching the show right now, like on X, like all the cool people in the community, people like Barney Styles, Joni Rankin, BB for Liberty, Drew Van Runkle, Rvolt24, D-Links, Steelbringer, and all of our friends. They're all gifting subs to each other like crazy. So somebody will buy you a sub. So just come on over to the show. Hang out with us over on Rumble, rumble.com/AP4Liberty, and we'll get you a gifted sub, and then you can hang out with us for the second hour. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next week. Okay? Sound good? Good. All right, continue. So have we done that? So let me finish the embryo storage facility situation. So The facility has to make reasonable efforts to contact all patients with stored materials, provide a transition period. Patients sign an authorization form to transfer it to a new licensed clinic. Specimens are shipped in special cryogenic dry shippers, liquid nitrogen tanks. Patients pay for the transport, often $500 to $2,000, depending on the location.
And if you don't, then we're throwing it away. Sorry.
Yeah, embryos are not treated as ordinary business assets. Courts and regulators generally protect them as patient property with special legal practice, sometimes called quasi-property. Man, this is interesting. The facility must facilitate orderly transfer rather than liquidating or destroying them. Yeah, you would think.
Well, they're going to destroy them if you don't pay the $2,000. What are they going to do?
If patients don't respond after multiple attempts, unclaimed embryos may be considered abandoned. Facilities can then follow their policies. They usually thaw and discard them. This is done cautiously due to liability. Clinics rarely destroy embryos without clear documentation. Other options for patients: continue storage in another facility, use the embryos, donate to another couple, or research. Yikes. Discard, thaw them without transfer per written prior directives.
Oh, boy.
Wow. This is somebody's going to make a movie about this one, or they're going to make like a documentary or something like that.
What really interests me, I mean, this is kind of on the subject because this happens through IVF, but when gay couples have a baby, I always wonder, who is the other parent? Who is the other parent? You know, when it's a lesbian couple, I'm like, who's the father? Because the child sometimes looks like both parents. And sometimes I'm like, did the brother of one of the moms donate his sperm?
I don't know what Grok.
So that they could be biologically.
Grok has got to be wondering what we're on this morning, because I just asked it. When gay couples do IVF, how do they figure out who to be the parent? So it's researching. Now.
If I were gay, I would probably choose a sibling if I had a brother, and so that at least, like if I was not having the baby, I'd be like, brother, donate your sperm. And then my wife would have her egg so that it could be both of us, and then it could be completely biologically still in the family. And I'd be like, okay, that makes more sense than having like a random sperm donor dude that you pick out of a book. I don't know.
Okay, so this just got really weird. So it said, Grok said, excuse me, it says if it's two dads that do this, then how do they decide who is genetic father? It says that one or both of the dads provides the sperm.
Both? Yeah. How do you put two sperms in there?
That's literally what I asked. So that was my follow-up question. How do two gay dads both provide sperm? Is it a crapshoot between them, and whoever sperm wins?
Oh gosh, they do a race.
Yes. No, it's not a random crapshoot where the sperm competes. Gay dads who both want a genetic biological connection to their child use deliberate planned methods.
What?
Sperm from the two dads are never mixed together. Oh my God, this is
so like, it's one of their sperm.
This is demonic.
It's one. You can't use both sperm.
They split the eggs. The donor's eggs are divided into two separate groups. Group A's eggs are fertilized only with dad 1.
Oh.
Group B's are fertilized with dad 2. The clinic grows the embryos separately. When it's time to transfer, the couple chooses one embryo. They can pick based on embryo quality, results of genetic testing, personal preference. Sometimes they do two separate transfers, one from each dad if they want the possibility of twins.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
This is crazy.
Every day we stray further from God's light.
This is crazy. Yeah, that's always the thing I want to ask every gay couple that has children. I want to be like, who's the other parent?
I know. Joni Rankins dropped $10 in the tip jar. It says, off subject but relevant, genetically engineered embryos.
Oh yeah, where you decide that your child has blonde hair or certain features.
Yes.
Yeah. Designer babies.
Trump won 420 over on YouTube this morning. Hi, Trump won. Says, happy Juneteenth. Racist.
It is Juneteenth.
Racist
right.
comment. I'm too fatigued to be creative.
Oh goodness. Yes,
Juneteenth.
It is Juneteenth. So what is Juneteenth?
It's when allegedly the last slave in Texas found out about their freedom after the end of the Civil War. So
okay. They have been freed.
They have been freed. Freedom.
He is freed.
Yes, Django, Django. Okay, we need to move on because we haven't talked about the Supreme Court weed stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That's the
I
big.
have some controversial takes on that.
I know
one.
you do, but I think this is probably the more natural segue to this topic about the dad. A father named Tyler Brodsky stopped at a Quick Trip in Alabama on a road trip home to Oklahoma so his two little girls could use the bathroom. He checked the women's restroom, saw it was empty, and took them in rather than walk two small girls into a men's room full of strangers, a challenge that I will be faced with quite soon.
Oh.
Here we go. Here's the video.
There is a man with his two little girls using the women's bathroom.
Wash your hands, baby.
He is. He's washing his hands with his daughters right now. He is leaving it.
It's all right, baby.
Oh goodness, I feel bad for the kid.
I do
She
too.
is waiting to use the restroom with her mother, who is very ill
Wash your hands.
and who is on oxygen.
It's okay. Some men are just
Oh, her mother's ill.
immature.
No, I think he's.
And he's refusing. He's taking his sweet time.
No, I think he's this guy right here who's harassing him. This guy over there, the boomer. He's got his wife or like mother or whatever is wanting to use the bathroom,
Oh,
and so
she's ill.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, she needs to use the bathroom, but he's in there. Hold
I
on.
have two girls washing their hands.
You let this lady, this woman is she's a woman. She can bring her daughters in here. She's a manager at the QT.
I'm their
You can
dad.
ask her. I understand. And you don't have any business. We got her in the women's bathroom.
They're girls. They go to the women's bathroom.
As soon as he leaves the women's bathroom, I will. I'm standing in the doorway. He's taking his own sweet time.
She's getting paper towel for the child. What the heck?
Like, what
This is
is
ridiculous, man.
what is ridiculous?
What is she doing? She's locking them in the bathroom?
Yeah, the Quick Trip employee is keeping the guy out of there, as she should.
I thought that's his sick mother. Who is this person?
No,
What's
no,
going
that's a
on?
Quick Trip employee. She's like
Oh.
helping him out.
Oh.
I got it on video. Yeah, he just put his hands on me.
I touched you. I brushed you on the shirt.
That's still touching.
Yeah,
I
that's
touched
What?
you.
What are
I
you?
brushed you.
What are you doing, my man? What are you doing?
Well.
Okay, so
Okay.
all right, let me start because this you got to do the in vitro
That's a
one. Let me
man
start
thing.
with this one.
You're gonna mansplain to
Yeah, I'm
me.
gonna. Well, no, I'm just mansplaining.
Yeah.
This is a man situation here.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a man with daughters. I got a daughter, so I get to have that listen. Mind your own fucking business, okay? If your wife is waiting to use the bathroom and you see a man in there with his two little daughters, this isn't some kind of like transgender situation with somebody with rainbow colored hair going in trying to use the restroom, trying to be creepy. It's a man with his two daughters trying to use the bathroom, not wanting to show like his daughters of a tender age. They're obviously another men's peepees, okay? so like give him a little bit of space. He's trying to be a dad. You're obviously too old to be like dealing with young children right now. So grandpa over here needs to mind his goddamn business. Can I get an amen? Does anybody agree with me on this one? Like, he's just taking his daughters to the women's room. There was nobody else in there. He's not being creepy. He's just going in there trying to take care of his daughters. Okay, Stephanie, go.
I don't know if it was the best decision for him to go into the female restroom, and especially in Oklahoma. You know, they probably truly believe a man's place is the man's restroom, a woman's place is the woman's restroom. You know, they're probably very strict on those guidelines, especially with the whole transgender pedophile kind of thing. But no, if we were at the YMCA and you saw a man in the women's locker room with his two daughters, people would be freaking out, right?
Okay,
right?
No, this is Karen behavior. This is Karen behavior
just
by that old
saying,
guy.
like-
He was just looking for problems. No, it's that boomer mentality of people that just want to look for problems. They haven't destroyed the lives of young people enough through their Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, big government schemes. They're looking for. There's something about this generation that despises young people more than anything that they get. I don't understand what it is about that generation, but they hate their children, they hate their grandchildren, they hate everything. They hate that they're gonna die. They want to take everything with them, and they want to make sure that they piss on everybody before they go. Can I get an amen?
I just think people have gone very far with this whole man and woman bathroom thing, and
It's not, but
especially conservative men nowadays,
this isn't
they're
a trans
very
thing.
strict on that.
Like the father is obviously not in there trying to creep on women.
Right,
He's
but
in
if-
there.
if
He's
you're
in
gonna-
there taking his. And then look, the guy's harassing. You got 2 little daughters right there, dude.
And I can
like
see
you can
this guy
see the
has a
children
cross
right
on
there.
his shirt too, so he's conservative as well.
Yeah, well, he's literally just look. He's
Yeah.
got his 2 young daughters there. It's first of all, if you're a dad, you know how like, especially a child that age, you know what a pain in the ass it is trying to like keep those girls happy, keep them, you deal with
Right.
both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
It's so challenging. If you're a guy and the guy says, "Yeah, I'm just trying to like get my daughters. There was nobody in here. I'm just trying to like take care of my daughters. Wash their hands. Like we'll be out in just a moment. Can you please just?" So what are we trying to say here? That as a man, am I obligated as a father to take my daughters into the men's room?
Yeah.
That's what you think we should do?
Yeah.
Why?
Because if you let in one man into the woman's bathroom, if you let in one woman into the men's bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
then you got to let them all in. Where do you draw the line?
Well,
you
but-
have to have rules.
No.
Is a man allowed in a woman's restroom? Is a woman allowed in a man's restroom? Yes or no? Right?
If you're there
here
taking
in the
your-
conservative
if there's-
world love to make these rules.
No. Rules are meant to be broken. If you are for this purpose, for this situation, in this case, if you are a father and you are taking your 2 daughters and there's no women in the women's room and you've checked and the employee has checked because he went to the Quick Trip employee to have her check that there was no one in there.
Okay, so if he asked for permission,
Yeah.
that's better. That's
Yes.
better. Yes.
Exactly.
And maybe they should have kept the door open. Keep the door open. Keep an eye out. I don't know if that woman was keeping the door open. But what should have happened is if he really felt strongly about this, he should have asked the employee, had the employee stand at the door to guard from any other people coming in.
Yes.
So I would probably say that should be okay as long as everybody's in the know of what's going
if it's
on.
empty, it's just a room. Thank you, Barney.
Right.
Exactly.
I have been in a man's bathroom before at work tour, and I saw Marco 72's pee-pee.
Yeah, you
I
want
did.
Yeah, well, oh my God. Okay, I don't need to hear
And
that
he made
story
a
right now.
comment about
I don't
that,
want to hear
too.
that story.
From Sugar Cult.
Okay, I don't want to hear that
was a great
story.
time.
Okay, Stephanie, we're not going there. We're not going there. Okay, so here's. All right.
Warp Tour, man. So
It's-
fun.
All right, it's 7:50. We just unlocked the bonus content.
So when I was a teenager,
No.
I did
Because
used to go into
let me
men's
tell you
bathrooms.
what. Let me tell you something. Women don't respect men's bathrooms. Okay, when there's a long line of women in the women's room at an event, and the men's room doesn't have a line, do you know what the women do? They go into the men's room. So
great.
should those women not do that?
Right. No. In this
They shouldn't.
conservative
Are you
this
telling me? Are you
conservative
telling me that a
world-
long line that they see an empty bathroom and no men are in there? That the women who are standing there in that line should not go in there. You're saying that they should
I'm
not go
sorry,
in there?
but if you're going to live in a Trump world, then you need to stick
no.
to your Trump values.
This is ridiculous.
Trump would
You
not
are
put up with
ridiculous.
this. Trump
No.
would say, no men in the women's
This
bathroom.
is why
no women in the men's bathroom.
This is why wives need guidance from their husbands.
I'm just
Like,
going
this
along
is why
with your Trump philosophies here.
No.
You guys are the ones who are putting in these gender
you're
issues.
talking about perverts.
Not me.
You're talking about perverts trying to gain access to children.
He could have been
This
a
is-
pervert. How
he's-
do you know?
Because it's obvious. He's not a freaking weirdo.
He could
You
have been
can-
trafficking the children. We don't know.
Okay, Stephanie, now you're being ridiculous. Get out of here. Get out of there
I'm
with that
just
bull.
saying,
All right, miss
if
me
you
with that
let one
bullshit.
person
Miss
do it,
me
you
with your
gotta let 'em
bullshit.
all.
Miss me
You
with your
gotta let
bullshit.
'em all.
Miss me with your bullshit. We got to tell everybody what's going on here because listen, if you don't have the red castle next to your name like Hans EJ, we need to get a red castle next to your name stat because we're about to go behind the paywall and I don't want Hans to go away. This conversation is way too fun for us to lose Hans. So can we please get a gift sub for Hans as soon as possible, guys? Somebody give to Hans a sub because you have to have the red castle next to your name to see the second half of the show today. Nelson doesn't have a red castle next to his name. So guys, please, let's do a couple of gift subs real quick. Maybe somebody could do like a 5 gift sub if they can, because I'll tell you what I'll do. You've unlocked the bonus content. So I will play the bonus content for you guys and it won't be behind the paywall. So everybody will be able to watch the bonus content for free. No problem. Hans, you'll be able to watch the bonus content. You should be able to stay and hang out with us. Nelson, we got to get you a gift sub, dude. We should, the Steelbringers gift and subs. Thank you, dude. So you'll watch the bonus content for free and that'll be public. But then Afterwards, guys, we're going to go behind the paywall. So once the commercials pop up right before Justin, that's when I'm going to put us behind the paywall, and that means that we'll lose you if we're on X. We will lose you if you're on Facebook or if you're on any of the other, like YouTube or whatever. I don't want our friends over on YouTube, like Trump 1420, and I think Liberty Representative were over there hanging out with us today. Guys, you need to get over to Rumble real quick and we'll gift you some subs. So head on over to rumble.com/AP for Liberty. When we come back, we're going to talk with Justin about marijuana and
Can I just
guns.
make one more comment?
You can, but just let me finish explaining for people who don't know. We're going to talk with Justin about marijuana and guns. What we're going to talk about the Michelle Obama's a man comment. We're going to talk about the gay pride stuff with Major League Baseball, and Justin is going to be here with us for that. So go ahead, make your comment. Sir Rat Bastard, let's get you a gift sub. Gift sub, guys. Gift subs.
The only reason why I seem like I'm playing devil's advocate here is because I'm tired of the hypocrisy of people who are like so gung-ho Trump and all of his, gender ideas. I personally, I'm fine with a father going in with his children into the bathroom. But I know that most of conservative America is not fine with it. And I'm tired of their hypocrisy.
That's the Karen thing. It's not hypocrisy. You're talking about perverts and trannies and weirdos going into bathrooms and acting all strange towards kids. It's not the same situation.
Yeah, but if you guys are going to keep cracking down like this, then you got to deal with consequences this.
You're doing this woman thing of trying to divorce these situations from context, right? And context is really important, and as well as per capita. So guys, do some gift subs while we're going to the bonus content. We'll be right back. This is the Wake Up America show. We love you guys. If you aren't here with us on the other side of the break, then we will see you on Monday on the Wake Up America show, and that's on the 4 Liberty Network. Whew. This is a good show today, man.
I know. You probably didn't think I'd respond like that, huh?
The rolling countryside of County Donegal, Ireland, on December 2nd, 1738, a boy was born into a prominent Anglo-Irish family who would one day become one of the first major generals of the American Revolution, and one of its earliest martyrs. His name was Richard Montgomery. From a young age, Montgomery was expected to follow a military career. His family purchased a commission for him in the British Army, and by the age of 18, he was already serving as an ensign. He fought in the French and Indian War, participating in several major campaigns in North America. He later served in the Caribbean during the 7 Years' War, gaining valuable combat experience and rising through the ranks. Despite his success in the British Army, Montgomery grew increasingly disillusioned with military life and with British politics. In 1772, after nearly 15 years of service, he resigned his commission and sailed to America. He purchased a large estate along the Hudson River in New York and settled into the life of a country gentleman. It was there that he met and married Janet Livingston, the daughter of one of New York's most powerful and politically active families. Through his marriage, Montgomery became closely connected to the growing Patriot movement. When tensions with Britain escalated in 1775, he did not hesitate. Though he had once worn the red coat of the British Army, Montgomery chose to side with the colonies. In June 1775, the Continental Congress commissioned him as a brigadier general. Just weeks later, he was promoted to major general and given command of the American invasion of Canada, one of the most ambitious operations of the early war. The plan was bold. While Benedict Arnold would lead a force through the Maine wilderness to attack Quebec from the east, Montgomery would lead his army up Lake Champlain, capture Montreal, and then move against Quebec City. If successful, the Americans hoped to bring Canada into the Revolution as the 14th colony. Montgomery proved to be an effective and popular commander. His men respected him, and he treated both his soldiers and Canadian civilians with fairness. In November 1775, he captured the British garrison at St. John's after a long siege, then took Montreal without a fight. For a brief moment, it seemed the Canadian campaign might succeed. But winter was coming fast, and the situation quickly deteriorated. Montgomery's army was small, poorly supplied, and suffering from disease and desertion. When he finally linked up with Benedict Arnold's exhausted force outside Quebec City in early December, the combined American army numbered fewer than 1,000 effective men. On the night of December 30th, 1775, Montgomery made a desperate decision. He would launch a two-pronged attack on Quebec during a blinding snowstorm, hoping the weather would give his men the cover they needed. Montgomery personally led one column along the St. Lawrence River toward the city's lower defenses. As his men advanced through the driving snow, they encountered a fortified blockhouse defended by British cannon. Montgomery, leading from the front as he always did, urged his men forward. He was within yards of the barricade when the British opened fire with grape shot. A single cannon blast tore through the narrow passage. Richard Montgomery was struck in the head and both thighs. He fell instantly, killed alongside two of his aides. The attack collapsed almost immediately. Without their commander, the American assault fell apart in the snow and darkness. Richard Montgomery was only 37 years old when he died. News of his death sent shockwaves through the colonies. He was the highest-ranking American officer to die in the war so far, and one of the most respected. George Washington called his death an event that I most sincerely regret. Congress ordered a monument to be built in his honor, the first such honor given to an American general. Even the British treated his body with respect, and many in Britain expressed sorrow at the loss of a man they had once considered one of their own. Montgomery's death effectively ended any realistic hope of conquering Canada. The surviving American forces retreated in disarray, and the dream of bringing Canada into the Revolution died with him in the snow outside Quebec. Though his military career in the American cause lasted only 6 months, Richard Montgomery left a powerful legacy. He was remembered as a man of honor, courage, and principle, a former British officer who chose to fight for what he believed was right. His death gave the young nation one of its first true martyrs and helped solidify the emotional commitment to the revolutionary cause. In the years that followed, Montgomery was widely celebrated. Towns, counties, and ships were named in his honor. His widow, Janet Montgomery, lived for many decades and remained a fierce defender of her husband's memory. Richard Montgomery never lived to see American independence. He died in the snow on the last day of 1775, leading a desperate charge in a foreign land. But in his short time with the Continental Army, he proved himself to be a capable and courageous leader, one who chose principle over comfort and who gave his life in the service of a cause he had only recently embraced. Richard Montgomery, the Irish-born general who died fighting for American liberty in the snows of Quebec.
'Tis the year of our Lord, 1801. President Trump Jefferson casts his gaze o'er the sovereign Potomac and beholds a most wretched spectacle upon the waters. From the cursed shores of Tripoli and the welfare coffers of distant Minnesota comes the brazen Captain Ilhan Omar, commanding her fleet of Barbary pirates. She demands her ransom, billions in reparations. Yet one instrument of fortitude suffices, a steaming chalice of Jeffersonian Java, bold and unapologetic from for liberty shot. No more tribute to rogues, he thunders, and dispatches the Navy and Marines to smash Omar's fleet